Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to the GBHL podcast for another episode of Speak, Friend and Question with your GBHL channel host, James. 2 weeks in a row of Speak, Friend and Question. That is pretty incredible. And we are here on a Sunday night. We're going to be doing this live, which should be fun and exciting as ever. If you do want to get involved in a live chat about SBG on your Sunday evening, get yourself commenting on the live chat box, which I've got in front of me, as well as last week's answers and questions and everything else that was going on. Hope you're all doing really well. What we're going to do is try and alternate between the live chat and the questions from last week, and hopefully we get a good run with Speak, Friend and Question going forwards. So let's have a little look at some of those questions. So first of all, I know there were a few comments last week about Ben. Ben Bowles was helping me out, and on the key-in he'd worn a blue t-shirt, and we had a blue background for the green screen. So you will notice that at certain points during that video he did start to disappear. Now remember, I'm not professional, which I know that you all know, and it's brutally obvious, but I do usually sort of check for those things as we go. But I didn't have an opportunity to watch the Speak, Friend and Question all the way through before I published it, so I was literally clicking sort of at random points in the video to see if there were any key-in issues, and I obviously clicked on bits that were all good. So the first comment was from our very own Beard, Andrew Cox, who's doing some great work for Ardicon next year. So thank you very much, buddy. It's beyond appreciated. You're an absolute legend. Going to get tons and tons of beers. Then we got Callum D. He's put, thanks for the tips, boys. Painted my Legolas while watching this, and I'm very happy with it. Never created a list before, but I'm thinking about starting to play the game. That's great news, Callum. Any tips for building fun elven lists? Well, if you're looking at fun elven lists, I'd always recommend thinking about your favourite themes first. So if you love Legolas, then of course Legolas you're going to find in your Mirkwood list. Now, old Mirkwood, pretty competitive, but if you wanted to make it good fun, then maybe pick some heroes that maybe you wouldn't normally see or see as often, like your Haldirs and the like, which could be pretty cool. I think that in the new Mirkwood list, using Mirkwood Rangers can be quite fun if you play them in a fun kind of way. I know that lots of people are like, whoa, 100% bows on elves, you know, originally when they came out. But they're pretty expensive. They're costed obviously with the elven cloak, so 14 points is quite a lot for them. But I believe that that's quite a good fun list to have. So good luck with that, Callum. Let us know how you get on with the elven list. Let's go and check out the live chat and see who's with us. The Beard himself from Bulgaria, he's here. Glad to see the Beard making an incipient return. Keep at it. My beard? Oh, I need to shave, don't I? It's not. This does not count as a beard. This is not in its glory days, is it? You know, that beard was good. Come on, guys, that beard was a good beard. I'm devastated that Jane made me get rid of it in the end. but it had a good run. It had a good run. You know, I managed to. I think I was growing it from January last year. And it became a proper beard by about March time, didn't it? And I managed to keep it going for maybe was it a few months, about 8 months of beard. So pretty good. At least I know that I can do it now. Jez Hunt also in the live comments. Hello, Jez. Nice for you to join us. I was just watching one of the videos from Oxenmoot, and I got a notification for this. Awesome. Beards for the win. Absolutely. I thought of you, Jez Hunt, actually, because a couple of weeks ago I went to Middle-earth Fest with my lovely family. It was a bit of a surprise for Jane. If I'd have told Jane that's what we were doing for our day out, there was absolutely no way. There's no way she'd be like, I'm going to go and do some nerd things. And she actually was saying to me, oh, like, where is it you're taking us? Where is it you're taking us? I was like, I'm not going to tell you because you won't want to do it. It's going to be a nice family day out and it's going to be a surprise. She's like, you're not taking me to Warhammer World, are you? Play with your little men. That's actually what she was saying. I was like, no, I'm not taking you to Warhammer World. But by the way, you would enjoy it. I knew that she'd enjoy Middle-earth Fest. It was down near Birmingham. The guys from the Galactic Knights, who of course were at Ardicon 2 years previously and will be there next year and play a big part, they were there and they were absolutely incredible. And it was a good day out. Jane loved it. Jane's more of a nerd than I am, like massively. She was going around, she's going, oh, look at this, look at that. So that was good. And I was thinking about you because I wondered if it was going to be like your play. I saw somebody there who was doing some like Tolkien-based storytelling and the like, and I know that's something that you've mentioned that you do, which is really cool. And I know you're speaking to our man Benjamin Bowles. Hi Ben, if you're watching from your Sun Lounger abroad, look forward to having you back. So yeah, I was thinking about you, buddy. Yeah, I want to go to that, mate. Serhol next year looks ace. Yeah, I think, yeah, get involved. It sounds like your cup of tea, Jess. So thanks for those guys who are joining me on this. Let's have a little bit of a look at the questions from last week and carry on. So Duco van de Woud, or Wood, I'm not sure how you say that. Does anybody know GW's plans for the coming months and next year? Well, we know what they've been telling us and the various degrees of community interaction that they've been throwing out there, which tends to be in the form of the SBG sort of seminars, Middle Earth SBG seminars and the like, which they're doing at events. So usually Adam and Jay talking about, and sometimes the guys who do the amazing sculpting work, talking about the plans and where we're up to, and I think that's really appreciated by the community. Of course, they do a big one at Ardicon, and that's the last one that I was at. I don't think there's been much kind of news from then, but what we do know is that they are going to be trying to finish off as much of the Battle of the Five Armies stuff that you'll see in the there and back again sourcebook as possible, and we're seeing new models kind of every couple of months, which is really cool for that. And there's a ton of profiles which still don't have models from that book, so I expect some steady releases. And then at some point next year they want to revisit Lord of the Rings with Middle Earth Strategy Battle Gaming, and they want to do the Battle of the Pelennor and the Fall of Osgiliath, which is really exciting, especially as Mr. Rohirrim. It's very, very, very exciting. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. If you're watching in the live chat, what are you looking forward to about it? Thanks for that question, Duco. Let's check the live chat and see who's commenting. Welcome to the live chat, Caragul2. You were thinking about painting, but were sort of meh and lazy about it. Oh no, there's more of you in here. So we've got Julian. Welcome, Julian. Hey, gentlemen and ladies. Hey, Julian. Welcome. Carol 2, I was thinking about painting but was sort of meh and lazy about it. Live stream, painting time it is. Yeah, that's what these types of videos are for, right? These kind of chat-based videos, they're good for getting your painting done. What are you guys all painting at the moment? I know that now that I've finished a lot of my work for today, I'm incredibly busy at the moment because I've got exciting news. I think I've found the new gym that I've been looking for. So for those of you who weren't aware, the building where I run my current business has been bought and been looking to be turned into apartments. So our business is kind of like, oh, where are we going? And since not this last January before, I've been looking for a new home, and it's been really hard and super stressful. But I think I found somewhere, which is exciting. But that does mean that if we're looking to go for 1st of November, which these people are saying, I'm about to go on holiday. I go on holiday to Fuerteventura next week with the family. So a lot of work this week, as you can tell by those bags. But I think it's time to clock off, and I'm going to be doing some painting. And I am painting my my Warriors of Erebor. So that I'm going for. Oh look, this is Santa. This guy. Nowhere near finished. Done the skin, done the hair, done the armor. Just started painting the cloth. Obviously, that cloth needs shading and highlighting and the like. But what I've decided to do is I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. So you know, some of them will be red, some of them will be blue. There we go. That's a blue one. Some in here will be. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look at a green dude. Some will be green. There we go. And I've got a couple in there that are some different colours, like some blacks and greys and the like. And what I'm hoping is that, because I do like the Warriors of Erebor, and I like the kind of the idea that they're supposed to be a little bit ragtag, like they've just grabbed all their armour on, and tried to reflect that in the colours of their cloth and the like. So I want them to look a little bit more militia-y in that kind of sense. And how I want them to be unified is with the bases, which I think I'm going to go sort of snowy bases, which is quite cool. So who else have we got here in the live chat? We've got Chris Thorpe. Hello, Chris. Chris, my Dark Souls homie. How's it going, buddy? You alright? How's the painting going? Do let me know. I need to get back onto painting. That last things I painted, obviously, with the Silver Knights, and I need to next up paint the Hollow Soldiers. Now, one of the reasons I've not been able to persist with the campaign is that Jamie has been super busy, which is always a bit of I might have to do it by myself. I might have to carry on the saga of Young Wolf and Ardstan by myself, or get somebody else in But yeah, we'll need to do some more Dark Souls stuff soon. You put, howdy, your wife sounds like mine regarding nerd stuff. Yeah. Jane will every now and again pretend to be supportive, but remember, I didn't do this when she met me. Like, this is I've come late to the world of wargaming, really. So yeah, I mean, it's not as bad now as it was. I think the first year of me being heavily involved in the GBHL was troublesome, but I was going to an event every couple of weeks. You know, it was when we were really trying to push the league and everything, and support all the different events and get ourselves out there with the channel, and you know, so it was a busy year. But it's calmed down a bit now, and I think she understands what it means to me, really, which is cool. We got Taylor from Canada. Canadians, I'm sorry everybody else in the world, but Canada is one of my favourite places at the moment because it's full of a bunch of my favourite people. Hello Team Canada, bunch of legends. Do you know if battle companies will be under Middle-earth SBG or Hobbit? I'm not sure whether that's going to come sooner than Middle-earth SBG or after. That looked like it was soon. But I have absolutely no idea, so I won't be able to answer that truthfully. It'd be good to have a couple of editions of that, right? I'm looking forward to that. A couple of shouts of 4th Aerlingus there from Jez. And who else have we got here? The Beachside Bros, hello! Hey man, damn, only caught the end. Oh, we're not at the end of anything. I'm probably going to be on here for the next hour chatting to you, so expect me to be on until about 9 o'clock, guys, chatting to you, and then I'm going to crack on with some painting and then do a bit of tidying up. I basically got a free house tonight. Like, you remember when you were a teenager, you know, you got free house. It's like, free house, everyone come to mine, you know. It was a big thing. We'd be all getting smashed right now and be drinking vodka out of vases and all sorts. Look how things have changed. I'm sat in, chatting to a bunch of Lord of the Rings geeks like myself on my iPad, answering questions with model figurines in front of me. And to be fair, in terms of chilling out with Eleanor and Jane not being there, I can't think of anything better to do, which is why I'm doing it. Who else have we got? We've got the Beard says, I've got a stack of dwarves on my painting table at the moment as well. Only black undercoat right now. No time. Exactly. Well, that's because you are committing a whole lot of time to the greater good. You are the greater good, Beard. You are. You're doing amazing. I could not be more grateful and chuffed for what you're doing for Ardacon next year. Legend. Let's answer some more questions from last week. We've got Minsky. Minsky's put, hi guys, I love what you do and I've got quite a collection of Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Warhammer, but I'm trying to get back into the game. Just finding it hard to find people to play with. Benjamin Bowles himself has said, check out the GBHL Facebook group. Absolutely. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not on Facebook, and you live in it, well, even if you don't live in the UK, the Great British Hobbit League Facebook page has morphed into, you could say something more. I mean, it has become a place where people from around the world go to talk about Hobbit SBG, but primarily it was there to promote, you know, the independent UK tournament scene originally when it was in its infancy. Yep, so go and head to there because you'll be able to find other players, but there are also tons and tons of Facebook communities out there around the world. It used to be a big thing on the forums, you know, you go onto the One Ring forum and there'd be like a location finder and the like to find other players. But if you go on Facebook, there's, you know, the North American Alliance of SBGers, you've got the Ontario Strategy Battle Gaming. I mean, there's one for nearly every community in the world. The Irish have got one, the Swedes have got one, the Finns have got that. Seriously, they're everywhere. I'll tell you who the man to speak to if you live in anywhere really in the world. Speak to Andreas, the Norwegian Viking, on Spilthringen Fellowship. Am I getting better at that, guys? I don't think I am. But yeah, go and speak to him because I think sometimes I will get like about 50 notifications on my iPad, like the first time I log into Facebook or something. And if it's not Stephen Bonner of Team Scotland liking every single GBHL podcast post from the last 3 years, then it will be Andreas posting up his videos in every single you know, Lord of the Rings SBG group. So yeah, there we go. So go and check those out, Minsky. Back to live chat. Let's see who's chatting and who's chatting what. We have got. Let's see. Who else have we got? Julian Farnham, ho ho ho, it's good to go. The Big Goblin 86, I'm painting my Iron Hills Chariot right now. How you getting on with that? Iron Hill's Chariot. That's what GBHL Damien is taking on at the moment, thanks to you guys. That's a bit mean. I'm pretty sure he was looking forward to painting the, getting through the Champions of Erebor and everything. You guys give him that damn massive chariot to paint. Nice. I'm not sure I would have given out there, but I know that you guys supported him with the baby club photo thing where you vote for the baby photo that looks the cutest. What was that for? We heart beeps, and I know this because of course I'm a daddy. I've been to heart beeps with Eleanor, and there was I said I don't. Whoa! I don't want to get involved in one of these competitions where you vote like you've all got to like almost compete who's got the most friends like for our group. But luckily they didn't do it up here. But luckily for Damien, when they did it down in London, Damien has got all of you guys who are awesome, and you all voted for Charlotte, who of course is gorgeous as well. But yeah, you guys got him to paint the Iron Hill's Chariot. How are you getting on with it, the Big Goblin 86? Is it fun? I've not got the Chariot. I must admit, I haven't got the Chariot. Stephen Bonar, Wheat Bro, good to see you at it again. Good to be here. Ross Wolstenholme, I really should be painting the rest of my armies for the Scouring of Stirlingshire. Boom! What a great opportunity to shout out the Scouring of Stirlingshire, which is happening on the weekend of my birthday. Which would be fortunate if I was, not married with family and responsibilities and things. Because I would have been able to go to that, but I'm not going to that. But it is an amazing event. So if you are free that weekend, get to Scotland. The Scouring of Stirlingshire is an incredibly well-run event. The great guys up there. Of course, it is the home of the SBG World Champion, David Reed of Team Scotland, who undoubtedly you'll get to have pictures with him wearing his cloak, which is a big deal, right? With his World Champion cloak. They just run a great tight ship up there. Some of my favourite SBG people up in Scotland, and they do run a great event. I wish I could go. It's always good versus evil. We've always got a good couple of scenarios in there. Great venue, really well run tournament. Go check it out. Stephen Bonner's giving you some encouragement. Tay Sinstat again has put Team Canada is getting together for next year. Can't wait to meet you in person, man. It's the weird thing, isn't it, Taylor? I know it's it's going to be a massive cliche, but doesn't it just feel like we have met? Do you know, when you chat to people passionately as well about stuff that you're involved in like this for such a long period of time, you just kind of assume, and then it's not weird when you meet each other, but it's weird that you hadn't ever met each other before, because you just kind of carry on like it's completely normal. Sometimes it's a little bit stranger sometimes when we're at a disadvantage and maybe we've not spoken to somebody and somebody comes over. Great for the ego, but that can put you at a bit of a disadvantage. But it's weird when me and you, Taylor, we've been chatting for ages, and I would consider us to be good hobby friends, and it feels a bit weird that we've not actually met. It's crazy. Jason Fox, my man in Guild Ball, how's it going? When are you going to show me this SBG then? Whenever you want. Contact me and we'll do it, Jason. But you're not allowed to beat me in this like you beat me at Guild Ball. That's got to be the deal. No, just let me know what you wanna do. Tell me something iconic from the movies, perhaps as a matchup. Remember, I don't really get to play games that I don't film. I don't have time. So maybe I'll sort of show you through the kind of basics, and we'll try and film a game. But let me know, what would you like to do? Think of something from either The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, and I'll fudge something up, and you can use whatever you want, and you can play against whatever you want. I'm more than happy to show you. Jez Hunt, there is no bad thing to celebrate a quiet life. No, I love it. Beachside Bulls, very cool, buddy. Absolutely loved the last Guild Ball video. I had a game today where the FAQ Theron gave me a good beatdown. Yeah, FAQ Theron in Guild Ball is much, much, much better. But I have to say, I'm a Skather fan. Skather is amazing. I love Skather. I really, really feel like I've got her now. And as you'll have heard me say in the video for Guild Ball on Hot Gates Gaming, the match report. So if anybody likes Guild Ball or is curious about Guild Ball and wants to see what it's all about, go and check out Hot Gates Gaming, which of course my kind of match report, battle report channel for Hobbit SBG and and for Guild Ball and for Dark Souls the board game, and hopefully at some point for Age of Sigmar and 40k and any other game really as well. I've got a bunch down in the cellar that need painting and playing, so we'll get there in the end, even if I'm grey and old. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Scather and the Heralds. Let's have a little look back to the questions from last week. My man Josh Trivett from the East Anglia Hobbit League. These guys are joining with Miss Sussex Wargamer Sam, who lives in Manchester now, or lives in Stockport. He lives around the corner from me. Works for Steamforge. Those guys are all going off to go and do the. They've been doing the World Team Championships for Guild Ball, which is exciting. So yeah, they're doing the league finale for the Great British Hobbit League. So go and check that out. Go check that out. You guys should definitely go down the fluffy route and take a Pelennor Defence of Minas Tirith themed force. Now this is in reference to Benjamin Bowles and I getting together for the doubles Stockport in Flames run by GBHL Harry and GBHL Jamie. So dreamy right now, right? Jamie's looking hot. I've got a proper man crush on Jamie at the moment. He's hot. He's hot. Remember, I had him first, everyone. But those are running a doubles event at the end of October, which should be really cool. And we were discussing what kind of list that Ben and I should bring. And it makes sense that I'm a Rohan man, and he's a Gondor man. That we do something like that. And the problem with doing the fluffy force is the painting, because it means that I do have stuff to paint. It might be more likely that we go down the fluffy route of the Birth of Rohan list that Jay and I did. So you've got like the Ale the Young with Sons of Ale allied with the Gondorians of the Steward Bard who got rescued by the Northmen before they were given Rohan. I'm doing something along those lines. I think that's probably a little bit more likely. Although Ben seems pretty keen to go there and have a crack, you know, and try and win something. So, you know, in which case I would say to him, well, I'll take Rivendell Knights, you know, and see how we get on from there. But maybe I think Rohan's got to be what it is. Let's go back to the live chat and see what you're all jib-jabbering on about. Let's see. The live chat box is really small, isn't it? Anybody else think that? I think that. Caragol 2 says I'm getting better. I'm guessing that's in regards to saying Spilfreningen the Fellowship. Did I do it? Tell me if I did it. I'm trying really hard. And then we've got Elia S. Hello, James. Yes, I see that you retracted a message because before you said hello, Jamie. Jamie is much dreamier than I am, so you made a mistake there. If I may ask, what kind of book would you bet is going to be The Fall of Osgiliath? A rule book or an expansion book? I know it's not announced, just your opinion. I think it'll be like the old journey books, you know, like when you have Gondor in Flames and Khazad-dûm and The Fall of the Necromancer, those kind of books, like a journey books. I think you'll get scenarios in there, cool scenarios, new profiles, and army lists, army bonuses and the like. I think that they'll probably take that form, but I honestly don't know. Stuart Dobby, hello, how's it going, my man? Good to see you. What would you have taken to the scouring of Stirlingshire if you could have made it? What would I have taken? Well, this year I've very much been trying when I've gone to things that are worth points, and the reason for that is that I think that I think that you can go through phases. So I think when I first started out, it was about trying to do as well as I possibly could with an optimised all-mounted Rohan force and trying to show what I and that could do, and felt like I did that reasonably well. And then kind of had a few years of not really, apart from then, like completely not trying or trying to do anything in the league particularly, but then only really kind of resurfacing for the Nova Open and any of the kind of like surrounding events. And I was quite surprised when I went to Nova last time, like and the Longbottom Carnival before that, how well I did. And I thought, well, actually, do you know what? If I try and make 4 next year, because I can't go to them all, and really going to a lot of them is kind of your best way of hedging your bets to do well in the league, as it were. I was kind of like, well, I'll go and I'll give it a go and see where I finish after giving 4 cracks at it. So I would probably, as my good force, probably bring my Rivendell Knights, because it's probably my most competitive sort of good army that I'm good with anyway. And then my evil force, again this year I've been bringing the Reavers and the Golden King and the Shadow Lord, and going down that kind of route. Whether I would have taken that or Isengard, I'm not too sure. Probably the Reavers, because that's what I've gone with this year, and I like some of the tricks in there with with like the Spectre and the Golden King and the Shadow Lord and that kind of thing. So that's probably what I would have taken. Taylor agreeing that yeah, and we even kind of look alike. Wow. I guess, what is it? Because we're blonde? Blonde. I've got big nose, big ears. Have you got big nose, big ears? Blue eyes? Maybe. Something along those lines. TNG Productions? What are you doing on here? I guess, am I doing this? Oh no. I'm doing Speak Friend and Question on Hotgates Gaming by accident. Oh no. I was wondering why TNG Productions. Oh no. I was wondering why TNG Productions and Jason Fox were on the GBHL podcast. Okay. I can't really fix this. I know why this is. So on my laptop, I'm logged in on the GBHL podcast. But on the iPad, I bet I'm logged in as Hotcakes Gaming. That's why Chris Thorpe of Dark Souls is here as well. Well, let's run with it. Sorry, everybody. TNG Productions, on a scale of 1 to 10, how envious are you of Tom's hair? 1. I know he's proud of it. But that's not how I roll. Stephen Bonner, what do you find is a challenging force to play against with your fully mounted Rohan at 500, 600 and 800 points? At the different levels? Isengard's always tough for Rohirrim, especially when they've got wizards as well. All the strength for fight for to match you, and wizards with blast are great. They can outshoot you, crossbows, no problem at all. Isengard's always a tough one. Wizards generally are going to be pretty tough. Wood elves with old Thranduil is really tough. Especially if there's like Stormcallers in there as well, all like the Nature's Wrath and knocking things down. I mean, anything that's gonna blast or hurl you or force you to have to chase it is going to be pretty tough to take on with the all-mounted Rohan army. It's an army that's got a lot of hard counters to it. It's not the easiest force to use, and you can't just skirmish, unless you're doing like a Lord's Battle against something, and you nick it and you try and make your opponent. You can't really, with strength 2 bows and most of the time needing 5s to hit. You can't really rely on that to actually win your games. It's more about pulling your opponent apart and making them sort of make mistakes, and then trying to pounce on those mistakes and exploit them as much as possible. But yeah, wizards are horrendous to play against. Obviously, Ring Race on Felbeast are a nightmare to play against for those as well. So very, very tough. Chris Thorpe, this is why you're here. I didn't even think, like, why were you here? Thanks, Stuart. Thank you for doing that. I can't believe that. Oh no. I wonder if there's a way. Yeah, so there must be a way of me putting this in the Speak Friend in Question. Yep, guys who are on this, who are Hotgates gamers, if you weren't aware, I'm also on a channel called the GBHL Podcast. That's where it started, and this show is supposed to be on the GBHL Podcast, and it's not because I'm logged in on the GBHL Podcast on my laptop, but not on the iPad, which is what I'm filming on now. So yeah, I don't normally do a Q&A on Hotgates Gaming. Chris Thorpe, understandable that Jamie is busy with new Kickstarter coming out. Do you plan on making content around SFG's Resident Evil 2? Well, we shall see. But do people, would they like to see content on that? If Steamforged are keen for me to be involved in that. I mean, the reason really, the only reason I got into Dark Souls was because I went and I helped them with the Kickstarter. Did a little bit of playtest. My name is in the rule book for Dark Souls, which is really cool because I helped go and do some of the original playtesting. You know, not a lot by the way, but just the boss fights and stuff, and just a couple of things. Then of course went down to Sloot and promoted the game. I actually gave the demo to the guy from which ended up bringing the lead for Resident Evil 2. So there you go. You know, you all have me to thank. You all have me to thank for Resident Evil 2, the board game. I gave the guy the demo, and then he asked to be introduced to Matt and Rich, and everything's gone from there. We'll have to see. I didn't particularly play a lot of Resident Evil when I was a kid. My friend Kev did. I remember going for a sleepover. Go to his house, and he'd be playing it until like 2 in the morning, and that was pretty scary. But those things that hang off the ceiling, they were terrifying. You could hear them and you couldn't see them. That was awful. Whether I make content on it, I don't know. I mean, I've got so many things to do, right? I'm not even necessarily fulfilling that. It'd be wonderful to be able to do this even part time, but I really do just nick hours here and there, and half an hour here, half hour there. So we shall see. If they want me to be involved in making some content and talk to me about that, and show me the game, and then who knows. Yep, TNG Productions, you did ruin it. I wondered why you were here. I honestly wondered why you were here. GBHL podcast. I know. Just tuned in time to see the live poop up. Glorious work, sir. I know, Damien. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry, everyone. Unbelievable. Thank you for sharing it on the GBHL podcast, Stuart, and I'll see if there's any way of rectifying this in any kind of way, shape or form. But Hoggates Gamers, this is it's normally a Q&A show about Hobbit SBG over on the GBHL podcast. If you like it enough, go and subscribe, because it's not normally here ever. And won't be again. I'm watching on Hotgates Game, and I thought that was a bit strange, but no complaints here. Yeah, well, nobody said anything to me. So I only sussed that when I saw the comment from TNG Productions, and then the stacking of some of the names, that were commenting was a bit weird for me. So, yeah. So, Damien. Hello, how are you? How's your lovely family? What did you think of the Hobbit Extendeds today? Did they make you rethink your favourites, etc.? I think that the extended... Okay, so what's the stuff that I like in the extended? I like the Unexpected Journey anyway. There are a lot of things in the extended Unexpected Journey I didn't like compared to the cut. So I didn't like some of the Goblin Town stuff was a bit weird. Really weird. But so I think I prefer the original Unexpected Journey. Desolation of Smaug was kind of like my least favourite, mainly because of the ending. It has to be said. With Desolation of Smaug, with the whole dragon chase, and of course that's still there. I liked seeing the extra Bayonne stuff, and I think that. And the Thrain bits and pieces. I think the bits of extended stuff in Desolation of Smaug explain a lot of things that kind of weren't explained in the original cut. So that's a bit better. And I haven't got to Battle of the Five Armies yet. Now I have seen the extended edition before, but only watched it once. And that was when I got given the when I got bought the trilogy. And the Battle of the Five Armies seemed much better on the extended. There was a lot more going on, but again, there's a bunch of silly things in there as well. So it's I don't think it makes me rethink my favourites. And today as well, because I've been working, it really has just been for background stuff. I mean, to be fair, I could have done with probably if I hadn't have already watched the Palantir, which is back, everybody, go check it out. I could have done with maybe having something like the Palantir on in the background, because at least then I'm listening, because my head's been down in my laptop most of the day, to be honest, looking up gym fitters and finance and all kinds of things, looking at contracts and exciting stuff, really. Exciting stuff. We've got Chris Phillips. Sorry, submitted my non-Hobbit question before you mentioned what this is supposed to be. Signing out to go and paint some more Dark Souls. Chris, stay. Feel free to stay, Chris. You can ask questions about Dark Souls. What you'll realise with Speak Friend and Question is that we talk about everything and anything. I mean, you know, I became very unpopular for a long period of time because people would ask me fitness questions and stuff. You know, we will talk about anything. So stay. Ask questions about Dark Souls. Ask questions about painting. Chris is awesome. He is a HGG Hoplite patron, supporting content, particularly the painting video content, and that's amazing. And I'm really glad that I've been able to bring all of you guys on Hotcakes Gaming this bonus content from the GBHL podcast. Unbelievable. Taylor's put, thinking of buying Laketown because of the new packs. I am not. I am not. But wasn't that great, everybody? That was superb. Like, really unexpected. I think that £40 for 12 is much, well, obviously it's much better, but it does it puts those troops back in that bracket of, do you know what? Okay, you can build an army and it not be ridiculous. Now, Laketown has never really appealed to me as an aesthetic, or even necessarily as a playstyle. You know, I do like some of the things that they've done there, but it's not really my kind of cup of tea. What I might do is if they do the same with the Mirkwood Armoured Elves and the like. I imagine they're going to test the water and see how this goes, and I imagine that the community is buzzing and is spending all of their money as we speak, right? But yes, Quinn, I am a Wally. That just popped up on my iPad. But yeah, I imagine if this goes really, really well, that they would consider doing the same for maybe Mirkwood Armoured Elves and the Gundabads and all of the kind of the Clamp 3 Finecast pack stuff, maybe. That would be brilliant. I think that it's a nice gesture in lots of ways that they didn't necessarily have to do, but I imagine probably makes decent business sense. Makes the army more accessible. And it's like what we spoke about, you know, it's like what we spoke about when the Iron Hills Warriors came out from Forge World, is that I felt personally that £40 for 12 Forge World resin miniatures was pretty decent. Now, since then, we have seen things like the Goat Riders, £45 for 3, and the crossbows and the dismounts and the like are much more expensive per model. But what it means is that if you're doing the same with things like the Laketown militia and everything, it means that everybody can get the core army without spending an arm and a leg. But if you want to expand on that, then there's an additional cost to that. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely fine. You know, I have no issues with how they price things. It's completely subjective. But they're a business, and they've got to do whatever they think they've got to do. Stephen Bonar, would you say the 3 wizards can be a counter to a full Wraith mounted Felbeast list? No. It doesn't work. Go and try it though. I've tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. They've only got one attack. They're not mounted on 12-inch flying monsters. It doesn't work. You've got to be very, 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 very lucky. It doesn't work. The Beachside Bros, I agree with you on Goblin Town. Seriously weird stuff. Yeah, some of it's just a bit weird and doesn't really fit with Middle Earth. It feels a bit contemporary, you know. But, you know, the Hobbit movies are a little bit more, you know, silly in some ways, which is maybe a nod to the fact that, of course, it is a children's book. So I can see why maybe they did it. It's just not my cup of tea. Some people will like that, but I like the unexpected journey, and the things I like about the Hobbit trilogy. My favourite things about it are the things that I feel that you don't necessarily see a lot of. Some of my favourite scenes in all of the Middle-earth movies are in the Hobbit trilogy. And those scenes are things like Bilbo and Smaug. You know, that is a fantastic scene. That's a fantastic scene. Really, 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 really good scene. And that's one of my favourites across everything. Riddles in Dark Passage, again, Bilbo and Gollum. It's amazing. I think if there was more of that, that'd be fantastic. But I also love Thorin as a flawed hero. You know, I think that he's very, very good. I just think that there's a lot of silly stuff in there, personally. GBHL podcast, I'm guessing it's Damien again. No one knows what the plans here is. Certainly do, and it's great to have you guys back. So more bath time listening for me. Let's go and check out the non-live questions. We've got Minsky. Minsky still talking about where he goes to play. So if anybody's goes to Games Workshop in Blackpool, is based in Blackpool, Minsky is looking for opponents. Go and check out Speak Friend in Question, the last episode over on the GBHL podcast. You know, and hook up with him. I'm sure there's a few players up Blackpool, Preston way. Quite a few play at Harlequins in Preston. That's not a million miles away from Blackpool. So worth getting in touch with. Next up, humongous question from from the West Coast Hobbits in Canada. Mr. Clark, you sexy GBHL host you. Thank you very much, Jind. Madness, having seen so much GBHL content lately, either the end times or the glory days are amongst us. Yeah, I don't know how that's happened. It must just, it really is a coincidence. We've all had a bunch going on. All of us have had a bunch going on. And I guess it just is a bit of a coincidence that there's been this little mini explosion at the moment. And fingers crossed it continues. 5 West Coast Hobbits ventured south to attend our first ever foreign event, Devon's Nova Open. You lucky, lucky boys. I know that me, Damien, Tom and Jamie were looking on very, very jealous that we didn't make it this year, because we've loved it. You know, going to Nova, it was an amazing experience for us. We had such a wonderful time with wonderful people. It was about as good and as amazing as one could wish for, and we're keen to make it out to more international events going forward, including Ardacon. We would love to have you there. Yeah, those of you in the know, that's good and going great, isn't it? TOS, Throne of Skulls, yeah, that's just happened. That'd be good to get you in a live chat. How did you all find the new army bonuses? Who went? How did it go? And an ETC. At Nova, it was really an eye-opening experience for us, for me especially, as I saw the difference between good players and amazing players. Whilst we are quite good, it's easy to see that there's a massive mountain that needs to be climbed to consider challenging a top 3 spot. Well, you've clearly got to be an incredibly talented individual to get a top 3 placing at Nova 2 years in a row. You know, so yeah, I understand what you mean. Have you had that kind of moment at an event where you've discovered that moment of humility and became painfully aware of your shortcomings? All the damn time. Yeah, absolutely. My first event I went to in Preston, look at me on this, on this channel. On the GBHL podcast, when we started out, when I was doing all these battle reports, I was on a right winning streak with my Rohirrim, thinking I was dead good and everything. I was like, whoa, I'm awesome, me. Goes to Preston and got my bum handed to me, and lost most of my games. It was really, really, really steep learning curve, because playing against people who've played the game for a long time and were much, much, much better than I was, and that was great, because that's how you get better. You get better again by playing against people who are better than you, and learning from your mistakes. Yeah, and there's been a few times where I have put my head in my hands and thought, oh, you idiot, James, like, where it's been within my grasp and I have thrown it away. I've had games, Sam Jeffrey will tell you, we've had a bunch of games. I think I beat him for the first time at the Scouring of Cheshire, and that was just because the Reavers were just ate through his non-kind of optimised but kind of berserker army. But before that, we'd had 3 games, and the first one we don't count because that was at that Preston event. But two games that I played against, pretty much threw it away in one of them. I think that one of the big moments for me was having the opportunity. I played against Jay Clare, top table at the Longbottom Carnival, and my dice were hot. They were amazing, and I was smashing him. Like I was in a good position to win that game. And when I didn't see that game out, that made me painfully aware of my shortcomings, the difference between, of why perhaps I'm not consistently challenged for a single spot because of making silly mistakes. That was a game that I'd kind of won and then didn't win. So that's yeah. There's been a few occasions. Those aren't the only ones, but yeah. I think that's how you learn. I think that's how you learn and you get better, and then you kind of make a choice which way do you want to go. Don't get me wrong, it totally fired me up, and I'm actually more enthused as ever to play SBG, as I'd love to push myself. That alone was worth the time and cost of attending an international event, as it really ignited my passion again about playing. Yeah, playing against different people from different metas is an amazing thing to do. You will learn so much. Wholly recommend. It's one of the magical things about Ardacon is that you've got so many people from so many parts of not just the UK but the world coming together. Different reasons as well, but getting to play against people that you wouldn't normally play against and armies you wouldn't normally play against is the best way to learn. Long comment, just more excitement about being part of the loop again. All your best and lots of loves to your little one. Thank you very much, Jint. That was lovely. Thank you very much, and let's go back to the live feed and let's see where you are all here. Where we are here. So, Stig Andreasen, watching you on the big screen at home, slightly low resolution, but still looking handsome. Thank you very much, Stig. Stig is one of my favourite people. We love you lots, Stig. I hope you are well. And how am I getting on with my pronunciation of Spilfreningen? Am I there? Am I there yet? Probably not. Quinn Duggan, what are your thoughts in regards to including Theron and Old Hern, original Hern, in your Hunters match reports? Well, if we're getting painted, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dom Symes, who I played against him at the Guild Ball British National Championships, and he had a beautiful Hunters team, and he used the old Hunters. I was lucky enough to play him and beat him, and I might get him to paint up some of my Hunters that I've not already painted up. I've got so many things on the painting table and not enough time. And I might get him to do a couple of bits and maybe include them. I do like using the heralds. I do like using the heralds of the Winter's Moon. But yeah, I think people would be interested to see the new Theron, the new Theron. I wonder where all you strategy battle gamers and Lord of the Rings enthusiasts. I wonder where they got the name Theron from. Yeah, I think that people would be interested in seeing him in a match report and how he gets on. Taylor has put, I agree, and it's interesting they're labelled as resin and not plastic or fine cast, but I also agree they're not my cup of tea, sticking with my Gondor. Yeah, I like Gondor. I do like Gondor. I think Gondor looks cool. I think that's the same with all fine cast now. It's not necessarily listed as fine cast, listed as resin. I think because of all of the bad stick, I guess, associated with fine cast previously. Stephen Bonnar, Radagast on Eagle, Gandalf on Shadowfax, Saruman on Horse, Legolas mounted armour and cloak. Is this versus all of the Fell Beasts? It's the single attacks on the normal Radagast on Eagle. Interestingly, he's got your best shout there, but he will, because he's not got a staff, he will very quickly get sap-willed, and he'll be a target for immobilise all day long. Stig Andreasen. I generally like what we're seeing in terms of perhaps moving away from the small trio resin packs. If the Laketown thing's something to judge by, fingers crossed. Yeah, me too. I hope so. I'm not into buying 3 models on foot. I want to buy a warband. I want to buy a warband of troops. I think that's a good way to go. Stuart Dobby says to Stephen, there's not enough models in that list for you. That's a reference to Stephen painting up ridiculous numbers of troops before events. Adam Garnett, I'm sure it's somewhere on YouTube, but there's a recording of Tolkien reading a passage from the Riddles in the Dark section. He does a fabulous Gollum voice. I will go and check that out for sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite bits of everything in the middle of movies. Damien has commented, I honestly think An Unexpected Journey might be my favourite Middle-earth theme these days. It's on ITV at the moment. It's absolutely glorious. I do like Unexpected Journey. I prefer it not extended. I like the original cut of that, and it is. I do like it. I'm not sure it's my favourite. I think that has to come down between the Lord of the Rings ones for myself, but I can understand why people would go for it. Great characterisation and lovely set pieces with the trolls, Goblin Town, and damn it, Damien, you used that word that I can't say and only you and Tom can say. Azanuzlizaba la la. I agree that the extended edition of An Unexpected Journey doesn't add much though. Yeah, I watched that. Well, I didn't watch it. It was on in the background, and there were a couple of times where my head came up for the new stuff, and I was like, a bit unnecessary. But yeah. And Martin Freeman is great as Bilbo, and I guess I think in The Unexpected Journey you see more of that, and I think that you see quite a lot of course, Gandalf. Gandalf's very good. You see a lot of Thorin, and Thorin is a very good character and played incredibly well. So yeah, I would agree with you. It is a good. For me, it's definitely the best of the Hobbit movies. Just not sure for me. I mean, I've got a big thing for the Two Towers. I do like the Two Towers. I think that might be my favourite one. And I love lots of the Fellowship. And I love lots of the Return of the King. So I'm not really sure. I'd probably change my mind all the time about what's my favourites. Quinn Duggan, our game at the Nationals was great fun, wasn't it? No, it was not. It's one of the worst games at Guild Ball I've ever had, Quinn Duggan. You spanked me. You absolutely spanked me. So for those of you who don't know Quinn's reference or why this would be humiliating for me, Quinn is like my arch nemesis in everything, in life. No, me and Quinn are good friends. We have a good bit of banter. When he was about 4, he beat me at SBG. And it was a recorded Get Buff Bat Rep, which then wasn't. Somehow the file was corrupted. Well, it was, and we lost that footage, which is a big shame. And ever since then, we've had a bit of a rivalry in a positive way. And I played him at the Guild Ball British Nationals, and he used the newly released Farmers team. So I thought, this would be interesting. But Quinn had also play tested them previously and was very good with them and absolutely handed it to me and gave me a 12-0 loss, which in Guild Ball is as bad as it gets. And did that by either midway through turn 2 or the start of turn 3. It was pretty brutal. It was not a game. It's only on about 12 minutes and almost exclusively Rivendell and Goblin Town. Yeah, I think the... so Damien's referencing An Unexpected Journey and the extended stuff. The extended stuff in Rivendell is not too bad. There's a couple of things in there which explain some things nicely. It's just, you can see why some of those bits got cut. Third activation of turn 2, Quinn Duggan says. Thank you very much for rubbing salt in that salty wound of mine. Damien says, I think when the two films became 3, the theatrical editions of An Unexpected Journey contained lots of scenes that would have been in the extended edition of the first film had it only been 2 films. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, there wasn't too much stuff to add into it in the extended edition when it was 3 films. I have no idea if that makes any sense. Yeah, it does. It does make sense. The Desolation of Smaug and the Battle of the Five Armies extended editions are glorious, though. Totally transform the films. Stig Andreasen, you're as close as we can expect anyone to get to Spilfröning and the Fellowship. Just keep it to STF, it's better for everyone. We'll get you doing it right someday. Caragor 2 says Stig, I'd say you pronounce it at least as well as a Dane would. And the Beachside Bro says, was it Thresher? Aha, he's a monster. Was it Thresher? Is Thresher the big dude? All of them did me in. That Granger's counter-attack on knockdown on 1 or whatever it was just ridiculous. I'm still very, very, very salty about all of that. Let's go and check out the past questions and see where we're up to. We have got Rowanan Satnik. Hello GBHL. I noticed you had a lack of questions and I have a few I've been pondering. 1. I have recently started playing Azog's Legion and I'm trying to figure out what works. Could you guys possibly give me a few tips for Azog's Legions? I'm probably not the right man to ask. you know, those would actually be your Palantir guys. Because they play with those forces. What works? I mean, I've seen Hunter Orcs do okay, and then people mixing in some of the Gundabad for the defense 6, so that you don't just get broken pretty easily. You know, there's some good stuff in there. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm not even going to try to. Monsters. How do you most effectively use them? If you can hurl, then that's a winner. You know, getting onto a flank and getting a nice good line and hurling down a battle line before other things go in there, and then getting double strikes and things on the floor with no risk of any repercussions. That's a good way of using monsters. Monsters can be pretty good at getting through to priority targets by using barge. You know, so you know, there's a shaman or a banner in a risky kind of place, barge through and go and kill something which is a priority. Or likewise, I mean, hurl is the big one these days. But also the opportunity to jump on a kind of high defense hero and just rend it and try and end it that way. That's the best kind of way to think about your monsters, is how can you deploy those brutal power attacks, as it were. And 3, is it worth going pure Azog's Legion, or would you ally in a Wraith? Thanks in advance, I love your content. Thank you very much. Would I ally in a Wraith? Wraiths are always good. Wraiths are always good. But no, stick with the pure Azog's Legion. Do that. Don't ally in a Wraith. Just stick with pure Azog's Legion. That's what I'm going to say. Tom Jennings says he's definitely going to be in touch regarding the Dark Souls game that he won here on Hot Gates Gaming, considering that's where we've ended up somehow. Hopefully I can meet you at Element sometime. And Shadow and Flame say, thanks for the shout out, James. Looking forward to seeing you finish off some of the stuff we sent you. Well, for those of you that are joining the live stream now or recently and before the beginning, I have been making a bit of progress with my lovely... Oh, let's put in there. With my Warriors of Erebor. See these swords? Shadow and Flame. So still quite a bit to do on them. You know, I've just put the base colours on the cloth. The faces and the armour and the beards and everything are pretty much done. We've got a few different ones in here. Let's see, what have we got? We've got a green one. Let's pull somebody up. You know. So these guys are getting there. Swords look cool. And that's Shadow and Flame. If you need anything sculpting, then of course you need to speak to Dave Fredericks, because he's the man. If you need anything painting and you want it painting amazing, then you need to speak to Kev, who is Shadow. Always good to shout those guys out. Let's see if we've got any more live stream comments before we carry on. Quinn Duggan says it was Windle and Grange. Windle was that big guy and Grange was the captain, and that was grim. Damien says, I've just finished painting Gloin, Champions of Erebor. Which one should I paint next? You decide, James. You can choose from Biffa, Bofa, Oin, Dwalin, Barlin or Ori. Oh, the power. I think that Barlin, and I'm going to say Barlin in honour of the guy that I had, or one of the guys that I held up to the screen, because that's quite Barlin-esque, isn't it? You know, the reds and stuff. Let's paint Barlin. Barlin's cool. I like Barlin. Barlin's a good character. He's one of my favourite characters in the Hobbit trilogy. Thank you very much for giving me that power, Damien. I feel powerful. I feel very powerful. Go for Barlin. Everyone likes Barlin. The Beachside Bros, I've been meaning to buy an Iron Hills army. Where should I start, buddy? What's good? Start with Iron Hills Warriors. Iron Hills Warriors. GBHL Podcast just commented, Barlin wins to the paintbrush. Yes! Would love to see how you get on with him. I would check the GBHL and Great British Hobbit League Facebook page later and see how you're getting on. Been loving seeing your painting stuff recently, Damien. Good things to do for your Iron Hills army, the Beachside Bros. Start off and get yourself a box of Iron Hills Warriors and get Dane. Get the captain packs are good as well, the banners. I do love that model. The Iron Hills captain's cool. I can't wait for some captains on goats. I think captains on goats are good. I really do. I would love, you know, if money wasn't an issue, I would love a full goat rider army. with captains and Thorin on a go. I think that would be really, really good. You know, for me, fun. But yeah, best place to start is go and get yourself a couple of boxes of the Iron Hills Warriors, and then get yourself a Dane and one of the captain packs, and that's a great start. Dane, a captain, 24 Iron Hills Warriors is a good start, and then go from there, because anything that you kind of do from there is, window dressing as it were, and it's going to be a bit more expensive. Like if you want to get a third crossbows in there and go down that route, then it's going to cost you a bit more, but probably be worth it. That's what I would recommend. Stig Andreasen, I suspect that's true. It should be mentioned, Danish is more like a national throat disease than a language, but close enough. Oh, some Norway, Denmark banter going on there. Be interesting to see. Oh, by the way, is Caragor not a Swede? Because you guys are always bashing the Swedes when you're at Ardacon. When they turn up next year, it's all going to be kicking off between the Scandinavian countries, I'm telling you. Thank you, Damien. I knew that you would do this because you're awesome. How to do well with Azog's Legions. Take Stumpy, trust in Stumpy, stump your way to victory. Boom. From the man himself. Damien, of course, took Stumpy McStumpface. Is that right? Stumpy McStumpface. And took him to Throne of Skulls recently. And then another one. Stompy. I can't remember the other one, Damien. Never ally in a Wraith. Despicable behaviour. Master Battle on Bolg and Azog is ace. Master of Battle is cool. Stumpy McStumpton of Stumptown. Thank you, Damien. Yeah, Master of Battle is cool. It's a really good rule, Master of Battle. Really good, especially on those big ones, Bolg and Azog. Stig Andreasen, I had a fun time with Dol Guldur at Ardacon, but I really struggled with Terror as it was a pure army and everyone had Terror all over the place. Tips. Struggling with Terror? Well, you've not got any access to things which kind of counteract that, have you? I mean, have you got horns? Have you got a horn? I'm not even sure I'd invest in it. I'd just take the numbers and hope that you get some decent rolls and let your heroes. I mean, I guess in a Dol Guldur army, you're relying on your heroes to do a lot of the work and your big things to do the work. So, and then really your main battle line, its job is pretty much not to die. That's the job of the troops, I would say, when I was having a non-expert glance at that army, is try and not let your troops die. I know that sounds like a silly bit of advice, but you know what I mean, don't you? You mean that they're not really there to do the meat of the work. It's more about the heroes and them being able to put their heroes and the big things in position to smash things. Damien says that Balin wins and is on the paintbrush. That's great. Quinn says, should I do a Morticians or Engineers team as your next Guild Ball team? Well, you've already done Engineers, so do Morticians. You've got Engineers, haven't you? Ross Wolstenholme says, I cannot wait for those captains on goats either. A ballista, always buy a ballista. I've got a ballista downstairs. I'm not sure whether it was one of those models, I have to say, that I was in two minds and was thinking, should I sell this? Am I actually ever really going to get this put together and built? And so, but I do think it looks cool. It does. I love the crew on it as well. I love the ballista just for the crew. The crew are awesome. Great poses. They look like having a rave. It's awesome. Chris Thorpe, are the Lord of the Rings armies pretty balanced, or are there any armies you would suggest to beginners to Lord of the Rings, not wargaming, avoid? No, I mean, I'm going to give the advice that we always give when it comes to starting up Lord of the Rings or Hobbit SBG, and that is, first things first, go with the theme that you love. Go with the theme that you love, the models that you feel an affinity to, and then try and make it work. I don't think there are things to avoid, really. Lord of the Rings armies are reasonably, I think that they are reasonably balanced, I think, to a degree. There's nothing, I think that there are Lord of the Rings armies that really have stood the test of times well and are kind of solid beginner choices, like old dwarves and Uruk-hai and the like. They've got kind of good solid armies to start with. Stuart Dobby says avoid Numenor. But even then, not terrible. There's just no fireworks really. Aragorn 2. More Scandinavian banter. The Big Goblin 86, take a Warhorn with Hunter Orcs, that's to Stig as advice. Comment about the ballista, the Rave ballista, absolutely. Damien commented back to Jez about enjoying the video that Damien did about Stumpy McStumpton of Stumptown, or whatever he's called. And then Stig says, it's more about how much the Necromancer can do. He's insane. As long as the Chill Souls are coming up, I had heroes running one after another. It's a fun army to play. Brilliant. Let's have a little look at some of the questions from last week. We've got 2 left here, and then we'll see what's left on the live chat, and then probably clock off in the next 5 minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed chatting to me. I would say here on the GBHL podcast, but halfway through this video we realised that we were on Hot Gates Gaming. We've got Matt M. Hello, Matt, my friend in America. Great to have you guys back on a semi-regular basis. I recently picked up some Rivendell Knights. I was wondering how competitive are Elrond and Lindir? What situations, if any, are they worth taking over the Knight Captains? I mean, don't get me wrong, Elrond is good. It's expensive, and you've got to think, would you rather have 2 Knight Captains or Elrond? I want the two Knight Captains. Elrond's cool, look, and we don't know what's going to happen with him going forwards. We think that there's going to be some kind of combined profile, and if there's a combined profile that combines a bunch of the things that he has on various ones, then he could be incredible at 180 points. But at the moment, I'd take two Knight Captains. Elrond and Lindir, I don't think the competitive Rivendell Knight army does that. I'm not saying it couldn't do well, and I think that Elrond is awesome. It's just that, again, he's a big single model. Big single models with only 3 will don't last long, in bigger points matches in particular. So something to always consider. And the Beard has asked a question as well. He put, in our game yesterday, there were several occasions where to wound was 4s for these models, 5s for those. In this case, what do you do? Do you say, I'm aiming for the ones needing 5s first, any 4s don't count. I'm aiming for the ones needing 4s, so a 5 or 6 will still only kill the model you need 4 to kill. Of course, it's only relevant when you're rolling all your dice at once, but then again, who doesn't do that? Love having you back, buzzing for Arcticon 2018. Well, sometimes you say prioritising this, but to be fair, when you're trying to roll for different defences and you've got a different wound to do, I would absolutely. Oh, something going on over there. 2 seconds. Okay. Cool. What was I saying? I would absolutely say, okay, first strike needing 5s, first strike needing 5s, and I would do that and I would work through. Although me personally, I tend to go for things that are lower defence first. But yeah, if you are rolling more dice, you can say prioritising this. I think you separate your dice when you're rolling to wound for different defences. Otherwise, you can kind of manipulate that a little bit and be a bit picky and choosy. But as long as your opponent's happy and it feels fair, then that's fine. Let's go back to the live comments, guys, because we're going to give it a couple more minutes. Resco Nesco joined in, just catching the end. Hope you're doing good, James. Very good. Thank you for joining me, buddy. Stig Andreasen, I think it'll be the last alliance for me next Arcticon. I do like my elves. Which heroes do you think would be good at 700 points? Oh, well, if you're going last alliance, you've got to get your cool big stuff in there, right? If you're doing a last alliance, what is last alliance without a Gil-galad and, getting your Elendil in there? Why do it otherwise? That's what I would say. Get those guys in, because it'll be good. It'll be good fun. Couple more questions here. Damien says, thanks for this, James. Got me through cleaning the kitchen. It was good fun. I'm now off. The dwarves have just reached Goblin Town. Huzzah! Well, thank you for joining me, matey, and for joining in with my epic mess up of which channel I've done this on. Disgraceful. I've never been so wrong in all my life. Power right there in the fields. That's as emotionally affecting as anything in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's a good scene. It's a good scene. Quinn's off. He says, see you, mate. I'm off to go and continue being ill. I'll take a couple more questions if anybody's got a question. One more question and then we're done. Stig says, cheers for the stream, James. Always a pleasure to be with you virtually or actually. Thank you very much, Stig. You're one of my favourite people, so thanks for joining me. Damien, do you like cheese? I love cheese. Cheese is good. Calorifically dense, but full of good stuff. And tastes great. Any more? Any more? Any more questions? I'm going to give it a countdown. There are a few of you on here. Do I like ham? I love ham. I love ham. I love ham and cheese. Ham and cheese together. Winner, winner. Ham and cheese dinner. Love it. Jess Hunt, did you see the Freddo's protest yesterday? No. GBHL podcast, mayo. Do I like mayo? I like mayo. I don't eat mayo, particularly, I have to say. I can't remember the last time I had mayo, apart from maybe in a McChicken sandwich a long time ago. That's the last time I had mayo, probably. Chris Thorpe, so GBHL podcast to catch you live in the future? Absolutely. This is normally on the GBHL podcast. Andreas says, nice chat, good night, thanks very much. Jess Hunt, about 20 people there for the Freddo's protest. I think that our community could do a bigger protest about the cost of Freddo's than that, Jess. Do you not think? Stig, Freddo or Norwegian chocolate? Ooh. I am going to say Norwegian chocolate because you bring me lots. And it means something. It means something cool. The Freddo is for nostalgia. The Freddo reminds me of, having to do like 8 hours manual labour, of chores at the age of 10 and earning enough pocket money to go and get myself a pack of Freddos, a Freddo and a bag of Space Invaders. Those were the days. And then you'd have that predicament. Pickled onion Space Invaders or salt and vinegar Space Invaders. That was a tough choice. You know what? If I worked particularly hard, maybe I'll be able to afford a packet of Monster Munch, pickled onion Monster Munch. Now they were good. They were for winners. All sorts of cool stuff going on. I mean, this is the great thing about the live stuff. Isn't it such a shame? It's such a shame that the live comments aren't published after the live videos. Matt King, dude, it was knickknacks. What kind of weirdo are you, Matt King? Unbelievable. Knickknacks? Knickknacks were alright. But they were an exception rather than the norm, weren't they? Freddo was the norm. Freddo was a regular. I tell you what I used to have at the bus stop on the way to school. Millions. I have a strawberry Millions. Remember that? You go in there and you get your pick and mix and you just get a bag of Millions. I was dead into Millions when I was about 12, 13. Knickknacks are drunk matchmakers. Isn't it a shame that the stream comments are not published afterwards? It would be brilliant. Could you not copy the chat and post it in the comments? Maybe. Should I try that? Let me see. Live chat. Pop out chats. Toggle timestamps. Pop out chat. No. Cadbury Secrets, man. Cadbury Secrets? What? Right, I'm going to try and copy the chat and post it as a comment. And let's see if we can do that. That was a great suggestion there, Stuart Dobby. Because that was one of the things that we found with the live streams at Ardcon. The live stream chat, of course, disappears forever once the live stream is over. And that's a real shame, because that should really become part of the comments. Right, guys, that is going to be me. I'm going to do a bit of painting with these dwarves. Damien, I'm looking forward to seeing your progress with Barlin. Good luck with that. And everybody, you know what to do. Get yourself over to the GBHL podcast and don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit host by checking the links in the video description below. This feels thin because I know that this is on Hotgates Gaming and not the GBHL podcast. Make sure that you like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. That's the GBHL podcast, not Hotgates Gaming. Support your Hobbit hobby and happy strategy battle gaming. See you later, folks.